Yeah, this on the record. This is my first time speaking to my attorney. He hasn't done nothing in my defense.
All right, let me explain something to
I
you.
understand.
Let me explain something to you. All right, so you want to come back in the first week in May for a plea deadline date, counsel?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Saldana, can I have a plea deadline date first week in May? May 6th? You said the 6th?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back on May 6th. On May 6th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will see you back then.
Your Honor, just for clarification, I was explaining to Mr. Saldana, the court's practice with respect to plea deadline dates. If the court could go into detail with that for Mr. Saldana.
Sure. All right, Mr. Saldana, always make sure that the state has given all of the discovery to defense counsel. So that's been done in this case. And then the next step in our process here in the 187 District Court is I require that the state tender an offer. Once the state has tendered an offer to you, I give you a chance to think over it and make a decision on whether or not you're going to accept it. So when we come back on the 6th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're going to accept the state's offer. If you choose not to accept it, then the next step will be both the defense and the state will let me know how long they think your jury trial will last. And I will give you a jury trial setting, and the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Can I speak now?
Sure.
Yeah, this on the record. This is my first time speaking to my attorney. He hasn't done nothing in my defense.
All right, let me explain something to
I
you.
understand.
Let me explain something to you. When your attorney gets appointed, that's when they get appointed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So your attorney has been appointed to represent you. Your attorney is here to speak to you. Your attorney will speak to you as long as you want him to speak to you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So what if there's nothing being spoken though?
Oh, just Mr.
You know,
Sandoval.
He's kind of busy. He has a lot of
Mr.
cases right now.
Sandoval,
Yes,
could
Judge.
you sit in the box and speak with your client some more? He appears to wish to have more communication with you.
I'd be happy to, Your Honor. Mr. Saldana is making reference to, I'm on a call in the 186 impact court. So that's why I was letting him know that we did not have time to go over everything this morning, but that I would be visiting with him.
All right, let's do this. You're on call for a jury trial, right?
In the 186 impact court.
All right, do you know when they will let you know that you're off the hook?
Well, I'm hoping soon, Your Honor, because I actually have unavailability notice on file. But
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you able to come back tomorrow?
yes, Judge.
All right, so Deputy Laura, can you have Mr. Saldana and Norma put Mr. Saldana on the docket for tomorrow? So we'll see you back tomorrow.
And I apologize, Judge, but I just haven't had no time to prep, and this is the person I seen discovery, you know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on.
Oh, there's
The
no need
case
to,
involves-
here's the thing.
case involves a minor
Here's
civil-
no, stop the phone, stop the phone. I'm hanging up. Let me just tell you why. The reason why I'm hanging up is because whatever the parties think the facts of your case are, there's only a certain circumstance where I will hear what the facts are about before jury trial. And that has not been presented to the court. So I'm not to hear about any facts of this case, usually unless there's a plea or there's a jury trial that's happening. But you coming to me and saying, let me tell you about my case, if you want to do that,
I
no,
apologize.
that's okay. If you want to do that, you can do it in the form of a bench trial, if everybody agrees to a bench trial. So you're going to come back tomorrow and your attorney will be able to show you the discovery. You understand? Anything else?
Yes, so Judge, I do have other settings tomorrow, so I may be a little tied up.
Oh, that's
Doctor's
fine.
appointment in the morning and then settings, but I will visit again with Mr. Saldana tomorrow.
Oh, no. You can do your other settings first and state, we're going to be in trial here. So if you will just make sure your file is brought down here, and we'll make sure that he gets a chance to see what's in the state's file.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Is there anything else? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 4712, State of Texas versus Nancy Zavala. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason here, Your Honor.
Defense?
For the defense.
And are you Ms. Zavala? Thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. I appreciate that. All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mrs. Zavala, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the indictment?
Yes,
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
we are, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced? That is a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, she has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe so, Judge.
Ms. Zavala, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 90 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. The state will take in consideration night mag number 691192 and 709885. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is the plea, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Say again, Your Honor.
Have there been any such motions?
No, there is.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State any evidence to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor, city exhibit number one with office attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept in the evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing, counsel?
Not at this time, Your Honor. We request from the court that Ms. Zavala be allowed some time to get her affairs in order before she presents herself for custody.
All right, so Ms. Zavala, the person who's listed in here is the person you were in the store with. Is that the gentleman that's with you or someone else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so why are you committing these thefts? What's your problem? What's going on in your life? Is it a drug issue? Is it a,
I just made a mistake. I'm here to accept my responsibility.
no,
I'm
but
learning on-
see, here's the problem.
Yes, sir.
I know you're here to accept your responsibility, but you're going to get to the point, if you continue on this vein, because these are state jail felonies, you're going to get to the point where you're going to end up with maybe a state jail felony as a habitual, which you'd be looking at hefty prison time. There comes a point in time where these theft cases, even though they're state jail felonies, they can be enhanced in Texas. So I'm trying to figure out, one, what are your issues? Why do you keep committing these thefts? If it's some kind of behavior that maybe can be changed, fine. If it's a drug issue, fine. If it's a mental health issue, fine. Maybe we can do something with it. But this whole thing where you're coming in, I just want to accept my time and be done with it. At some point, your time is going to be real time. So I'm trying to figure out, and I know all time is real time, but I'm trying to figure out what your problem is.
Well, Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
she has had her issues in the past. I have spoken to her at length.
What are these
concerning,
issues?
that she didn't want. She has impulse control problems. And the part of her problem is going into a store and wanting food or what have you, and not having the wherewithal to go out and earn the money and get the food and consume that item. She has had impulse control problems, but I've talked to her at length, and I believe that she understands the gravity of the situation. And in addition, as the court has informed her, that she may end up facing significant time behind bars if she continues down this vein. And she has told me that she has realized the error of her ways and that she has actually, in her mind, reformed.
All right. So has she reformed in the past? And then, because I think, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, you can correct me. Sometimes people realize their issues the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth time. I understand that. But you have prior convictions for this. State, did the defense confer with you about having this called back for sentencing?
They asked, I said I defer to the court whether be allowed back. I did mention to the defense counsel that we would be asking that the full range of punishment would be on the table if the defendant did not show for sentencing.
All right.
Yeah, that was informed, and I was aware of that, that if the court does grant this, that the court has in the past.
All right, Ms. Zavala, is there a reason why you can't go into custody today?
Well, getting get my stuff like arranged, like with my boyfriend, the rent. Like let them know that I'm not gonna be paying the rent no more, like at the moment. Just, and then with my kids, well, my son, with my son, I just had a grandbaby. And I just wanna meet her, I haven't met her. And I wanna meet her. Yeah, and that's just the truth about it.
So how old is this grandchild?
She was born February 13th,
Why haven't you met her?
because they were out of town. They were out of town, so they barely came back. Or was it last week? Was it last week?
Yeah.
So your grandchild has been out of town for 5 months?
Yes, yeah. But they've been busy. They've been going back and forth to Mexico to Piedras Negras.
Mhm.
And so they've been with his wife, my son's wife. He's from over there, so they've been going back and forth, back and forth. And so he said that if I can meet her this Sunday coming up at church, at the First United Pentecostal Church on Utopia Street.
All right, we're coming back on July 17th.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a reset form for July 17th? And you understand a part of your plea bargain agreement, if you do not present yourself on July 17th, then you're subject to the full range of punishment. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that full range of punishment is up to 2 years in the state jail facility. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you back on the 17th. You're welcome. Ms. Ferguson will give you the reset form, then you're excused.
Thank you.
Court is calling 2023 CR 9851, State of Texas versus Joe Anthony Vasquez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state defense?
Robert here, Your Honor, for defendant Joe Anthony Vasquez, and we're ready.
All right, and are you Joe Anthony Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review that with your client?
We did, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Vasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Are you proceeding on the enhancement allegation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Vasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault family second offense? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for a moment, please. All right, we're going to go back on the record. I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge, we do.
All right, it's my understanding that off the record, there was a discussion and states you're proceeding on paragraph 2 of the enhancement. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to show you what's entitled assault family second. I'm sorry, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand you're charged with assault family second offense? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If the state is able to prove up the enhancement allegation, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to keep those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe that he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe that he is, and he was, Judge.
Mr. Vasquez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, you agree that you've been previously convicted of 1 or more felonies for enhancement. Punishments be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state is taking in consideration 2023 CR 9852. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Brittany Jimenez. All right, off the record. So parties know, unless Brittany Jimenez is here to state that she wants to have contact with him, the court is not inclined to follow that portion of the agreement. So is that going to be a deal breaker?
I don't think it'd be a deal breaker, Judge. Just to inform the court, she did sign a affidavit of non-prosecution in these matters.
All right, if y'all want to remove that in the initial,
Absolutely, Judge.
So
What does that mean?
you can't contact Brittany while you're in.
Oh,
I just put NCO, Judge. That'd be okay with you?
I'm sorry.
NCO? Oh,
Yes,
contact.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and there's to be no contact with Brittany Jimenez. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
That is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contents.
And to the enhancement paragraph, paragraph 2, how do you plead? True or not true?
Excuse me?
The enhancement paragraph that's in the indictment, how do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Right. State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one and attachments.
Defense is reviewed, Judge. We have no objections.
Mr. Vasquez, I'm showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand, again, that you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty, and the court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're ready for sentencing.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, find the enhancement true. That's paragraph 2. Sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Brittany Jimenez. Take in consideration 2023 CR 9852. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction and an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Obviously, you have anger issues. You're one of those people who, you know, I told the last gentleman he shouldn't drink alcohol.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be in a relationship.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, you say
There's
you
always
know.
two sides to it, though.
Well, I mean, the problem is you say there's two sides to every story, but you can't go to somebody's house, break in a window, and then having them get in the car with you and threatening to damage the car with a crowbar if they do not. And you have other assault family cases. And I don't know why, but, well, I do know why. I know that, well, I should say, I know the different reasons why people stay in relationships that are abusive. But the fact that this person even continues to want to have contact with you, not happening. You need to move on. And you need to take care of your anger issues. So this is what you need to do. When you go to prison, do not be thinking about women. Do not be thinking about a relationship. You need to sit down and ask yourself how you got in the position you're in. And then when you're released from prison, because at some point you're going to be released, go get an orchid. They sell them throughout the year. That orchid is going to come with blooms on it. Once the bloom falls off and you're able to get that orchid to rebloom, you may be ready for a relationship. You understand?
All right.
And if you come back for this, you know what your minimum is going to be in a case? 25 years. That's where you're going to be starting at, because you're going to be a habitual. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
The court is calling 2023 CR 10786, State of Texas versus Amethyst Rose. What's the Richard? Ricarda Salas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
defense?
Will Brooks for the defendant, Judge.
All right, and are you Miss Salas? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes and yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Salas, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney. Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, is somebody doing a selfie in the back of the room? Okay, no problem. All right, we're back on the record. Did you understand you're charged with felon in possession of a firearm? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Is she applying for deferred or no?
No, Judge, she's
Okay.
great probation.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Judge.
Ms. Salas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. You are to agree that you've been previously convicted of one or more felonies. There is a $500 fine and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State? Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No motions, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Sorry.
Yeah.
State exhibit number one with opposite status for.
No objections to states one or attachments. Judge.
All right, I apologize. I did a slow rollout of that question. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Do you also plead true to the fact that on the 14th day of August AD 2019 and cause number CRW 1808141 in the 81st District Court of Karnes County, Texas, that you were convicted of an offense in that cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Court will review states exhibits 1 and attachments. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'll waive a pre-sentencing investigation, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, first and foremost, that Mr. Gagnon is very compassionate to offer her probation. Her circumstances were that she was homeless at the time, but she was living in her mom's vehicle and had the firearm for protection. She does know she can't own or possess firearms, Judge. But she has her life together right now, Judge. She's living with her mom, who's back then her dad. She's got a job. And I think she'll be successful on probation. I would ask the court to consider ordering her to complete her GED and maybe giving her some credit for some community service hours because she has not attained that level of education yet, Judge.
All right. So what do you do for work?
I'm a cashier.
Okay. And do you have any children?
No, ma'am.
And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll be negative.
And can you give me the court costs in this case, please?
Yeah.
All right. The court costs in this case are going to be $325. Will you be able to pay that in installments?
Yes.
All right. So the court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Random regular UAs. We can do a TAP evaluation out of custody. If the TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Then at probation's discretion, there's to be 120 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you complete your GED or either obtained some type of certificate from a trade school. You understand?
Yes.
And the reason why I'm doing that, because sometimes people find the job they like and that's the job they like, and that is fine. Because I always tell people we need cashiers, we need people to bring in crops, we need all these different people. But I don't want you to be at a job because you don't have qualifications to do something else if you want to. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you complete, I'm not going to order her to get her GED. I'm not going to order her to go to trade school. But if you get your GED or get a certificate from a trade school, then the 120 hours of community service restitution will be waived. And it's always great to have, you're improving yourself and that counting for community service. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation. Is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am, that's it.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we can go off the record. You're living with your mom. How old are you?
27.
All right, you're 27. I have to tell everybody this, whatever age you are, even if you're 50, if you're living with your mom, you got to follow mom's rules. So if your mom has a curfew for you, even though you consider yourself an adult, you're going to have to follow her rules. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Court is calling 2022 CR 7737B, State of Texas versus Sarah Laura. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, and Your Honor.
Defense?
Todd Coronado.
Are you Sarah Laura?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. First amended motion to revoke community supervision and second amended motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you
Yes.
understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Sarah Laura who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 7737B for the offense of credit debit card abuse
Yes,
on April 4th, 2022 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 1 on or about the 7th day of March 2024 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Sarah Laura committed the offense of theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the date violated.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yeah.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, is to revoke the defendant on probation, sentence her to 9 months at the state jail facility. And also the state will take into consideration the new number 1, the theft that she pled true to, which is 729293 out of County Court number 12 for their county.
Oh,
That is the agreement, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Sarah Lotta.
All right, what have you done on probation?
I have done a couple of UAs and I reported a couple of times. I haven't done much though, to be honest.
All right, did you pay restitution to Austin Galan?
No, I didn't.
Did you do community service hours,
No, ma'am.
parenting classes,
No, ma'am.
cats 1 and 2?
No, ma'am.
All right. This is what the court will do. Court is going to grant the motion. Court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. There's $1,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. And previously I put in place orders for no unsupervised contact with minors. So that will stand. No unsupervised contact with minors. And what is the restitution amount for Austin Galan? Did we ever get a restitution amount? All right. Well, we don't have a restitution amount for him. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yeah.
You do have a limited right to appeal, and that is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on probation. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own, possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. In this court, I give people chances when they're on probation. I'm hoping they're going to be successful. And you have all the tools that you need to be successful. Whether or not you follow through on doing things, that's completely up to you and the choices you make. You had better start making better choices. Otherwise, your children will probably never see you again, right? You're going to spend your time at somebody's prison or somebody's jail. You understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I believe this is the second setting that we've been here for Mr. De Leon. I just received an offer from the state. If possible, I would like some time for him to consider that offer. Mr. Allen has been representing him and well aware of the facts, and he's going to meet with the client, and we are hopeful to give us the time to do that, Judge, to consider the offer.
All right, how old are you?
31, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this in 30 days for a plea deadline date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, July 16th is going to be your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to accept the state's offer, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. All right, and then if you decide not to accept the plea, we'll set you for jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes, have a good one. Good seeing you. All right, so he entered a plea of no contest.
Yes, Your Honor, we're still waiting on one of the mental health evaluations.
Okay.
He has an appointment on the 11th of July for the second mental health for DDRF and approval.
All right, so what we'll do, Ms. Abrams? On Olage? Or Olege? Olage. Can we recall this back after 11? When do you think they'll have the reports done for him? All right, Norma, can we bring this back on maybe July 18th? All right, we're going to come back on July 18th. It's very important that I have those reports so I can make a decision. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and hopefully next time you show up, I'll be able to pronounce your name correctly.
What was his last name again? I'm just asking.
Olage?
Oh,
Yay! Oh, I just remembered it for that moment. All right, we'll bring you back.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. So we're back. Last time the discovery system was down. Do you have all of the discovery?
I have some of it, Judge. I think it's everything they have. I want to talk to a couple, thanks to a little more investigation. The state has tendered an offer to us that we're discussing as well. But I'd like to get one more research to discuss it if that offer with my client and also to do some more investigation about the incident, Judge.
All right, so an offer has been tendered.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a plea deadline date on Travis Mann for 30 days. July 16th or July 18th?
You're faster than me, Judge. 16, 18 is better for me.
All right, we'll do July 18th and state you're excused. You're welcome. Oh, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thanks, Judge.
And Norma, on Mann, there's supposed to be 2 files. Okay,